As you can see, this is cursor. This is called the agent window. This allows you to work on multiple projects simultaneously rather than having one project at a time. So IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. I generally use this one because I like to focus on one project at a time and not multiple.
Yeah.
First thing that you do when you're getting started, you're going to start with open project. Now, what's nice is that you don't need back in the days, you used to have a project file. Now you just open up any folder and you can start working in it, which is quite nice. So I'll create a new folder called dev1. And this will be like your empty folder that you can work in. I generally like to use Grok 4, 4.6. It's on low setting. It's quite good for typical use. Now, when you're getting used to cursor, there's agent, plan, debug, multitask, and ask. Most of the time, you're going to use the agent one, which means that it's going to do a lot of tasks. It's going to build the app for you.
Yeah.
When it comes to planning, this is when you start off your project, you will start off in plan mode. It's going to build out a document. So let's say I wanted to build me, I'm just going to change my model to the cheapest composer model for now. I'm going to use my voice to be able to dictate to it. Build me an app, and this app should be able to give the statistics for an agricultural company, the crops, put in some heat maps, put in a fake map that we'll replace at a later stage. It will have IoT sensors at certain points. There'll be a drone that will go through. So you can give simulated outputs for those with graphs and bar graphs and pie charts and whatever indicators we can use. So you can see simple like that. And then what I like to do is I've got this boilerplate. So you know what a boilerplate is?
No, maybe I know it as something different.
Boilerplate is basically a template. It's for how the UI must look like. So if you look
right.
So if you look at some of these apps, they all look more or less the same because I gave it a template or boilerplate. I need to fix that one. This one doesn't look the same, but these ones look more or less the same. It's basically the same look and feel. You can just change the colors however you want it to look like. So that's that, right?
Okay.
Now, I just gave this one here. You can access this via the Corporate Automation School. You can access it in the classroom. Resources. Yeah, resources, yeah. So here's the automation dashboard starter kit. You just go and download this boilerplate. You don't really have to. This is just to keep things consistent and looking the same.
Yeah.
I just gave it that and I said use the attach boilerplate for the UI. So now it's going to go and make a plan. You can start multiple agents. So you don't have to work in one window. You can work on multiple things at one go. One can do planning, one can do debugging, one can multitask, and you can ask questions if you don't want it to execute anything. This is your chat history that you can use. The things that you normally would use is if you go into open cursor settings. Once you have a plan, you can check what plan you're on, how much you've used. I have to use the $200 because I do a lot of development. If you do go over and above, that's the on-demand. So this will basically allow you to use more than your current monthly quota. You won't have to worry much about these ones. The main thing that you can focus on is like if you want to choose different models. If there's new models, you can select on and off which models you want to use or not use.
Okay.
So I probably don't use this one here. I turned off different models and Gemini 3.7 Flash just came out, so I'm going to turn that on. Over here, you can search for your files. Whenever you make changes to your repository, are you familiar with GitHub and how to use it and revision control?
I used it once or twice or something.
So whenever you change your code, you're going to be initializing a repository. And then whenever you want to save your code to GitHub, you just use publish to GitHub. I'll do this once we have the actual code. So this is asking me questions. How should the app be organized? So I'm just going to click whichever ones. Let's just start static for now. And now it's going to go and build out the plan. This is basically the specification that you would normally feed in. For some projects, I just do this and it builds out the whole thing. It builds out the whole app. And then it's almost ready to be production ready. So that you can build everything within just a couple of minutes and it's ready. So now I can view the plan. It shows me a whole diagram, getting straight to the point, the mock data. It gives you key components. And because it's a .md file, you can edit it, make it light theme. Drone summary, you can edit the specification and it's got a to-do list. And now we can go ahead and build it, right? So
Yeah.
simple, easy to use. Once this is done, it'll probably take a couple of minutes for this to be done. What I would do is go into settings, under customize. This is where you can add in all of your MCP tools or any other integrations that you might see fit to use. The main ones is Vercel.
Yeah.
Vercel for hosting, Convex for database, Notion for project management, Stripe for payments, Figma for design. For scraping and web search, I use Firecrawl and Tavily and Exa.
Okay.
For scraping leads, you would use Apify.
Yeah.
And for UI design, you'd use Shared CN UI. That's more for UI stuff.
Okay.
So these are the basics that you need. You can add more from here from the marketplace. You can search for Slack passwords. You can see what they have. If they don't have it, you just paste in a GitHub repository here and say, please add this as an MCP and then add it to it. So Cursor has its own marketplace, which means that you can search for Gmail, your AWS infrastructure. You can add all of that if you're deploying stuff there. They've got a whole variety of things. That's too much to go into right now. So you can see now we have code here. I'm just going to initialize repository, and I'm going to just say initial commit. And I can publish it to my GitHub, which I'm not going to do. Here you can see that we have the basic code that we can commit. When this gets done, I think it's almost being done. You can view the app that we've built. Obviously, the more detailed your specification, the better it is. There's going to be more steps, the more tokens it's going to use. And depending on which model you use, I see you started building with my Grok one. I should have changed it, but it's fine. The Grok is more internal models from Cursor, which means that you use the internal models first, and then if you can't solve it, then you use like Claude Opus and all of those things. So see, here's our app. As you can see, it's already basically done. I can change the heat maps there. You can see the sensor trends.
Yeah.
If you have any robotics things that you need, it'll provide the sensor data to it. You can basically look at how the thing is done. You can change the colors if you want. And then, yeah, it basically gives you all of the data that you need. This is mock data, but you can see more or less how it would look like. Just by speaking to it, it came up with this, which is quite amazing.
Yeah, I think so. It took the thoughts out of my mind.
So you can see it says take control. So currently it's doing its own UI testing, which I think it's a very new element recently. So now Cursor can go and take control of this browser and see whether the app is actually working as intended. So it's going to click on the buttons, click on this, look at all of the elements. Is it there? If not, it's going to go and edit the UI and make it a bit better and make sure that all of the elements are clickable and works.
IoT sensors, wow.
So yeah, I think that's your crash course in Cursor.
I saw one of your videos where you can create animated graphics.
Okay.
But you were using it for sales, for marketing and sales. Yeah.
You're talking about the course. I think what was it?
I can't remember. I was browsing through so many things.
You could use SVG animations to animate. So I can tell this to animate this drone flying through here and then detecting in real time what's happening. So you can have that sort of SVG animations, actual video, and embed that into this thing so it looks nice. Yeah, there's various ways in which you can take this.
And I can do it within minutes too. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
The barrier to entry to create this automation has dropped, which means you can do quite a lot now. For a big client, I was able to charge anywhere between 100 to 200K and get the output done within less than 1 hour.
Okay, yeah. Wow.
And most of the time comes in from you testing the actual app rather than building the app.
So I'm going to do it and I'm going to get you to test it maybe by next week.
The hardest part is figuring out the actual specs, what the customer wants. That's the hardest part, because if they don't give you the complete spec, then you're not develop the right thing. So having the right integrations. If you want to scrape data from somewhere, you need to know where to scrape it and if it's possible. So that's your job of scoping out, okay, is it possible? What tools can I use? My tech stack. Is this even possible? Sometimes if you want to get data, the data might be hidden behind a paywall or safeguarded. If you can't get hold of the data set, it's hard for you to complete the project. But if you have all of the sensors, it's a matter of calling the APIs. That's why when you're creating your contracts, you need to focus on your scope of work.
Right.
because you don't want to overpromise and they expect more from you because you've done it so quickly.
Yes.
You want to add this thing in, so you have to, in your scope of work, you need to define and lock it down. Any additional work that's not in the scope of work, we'll do it via change order, scoped out in a separate project, and so on. Are you happy with your crash course in Cursor?
Yeah, because I can see what I can do so quickly, especially for my idea. I'm pretty sure by next week I should have it done.